Waqt ekonomija din il-ġimgħa, il-Bitcoin jaqbes $69,000. Meta u Facebook mill-ġdid fl-inkwiet mal-Gvern Awstraljan dwar l-aħbarijiet, l-industrija tal-manifattura fiż-żona euro, il-famuża qmis tal-artist Colin Firth. Iżda nibdew bit-tweġiba tal-industrija tal-karozzi Ewropea għall-kompetizzjoni Ċiniża. L-industrija tal-karozzi Ewropea qed tipprova tnaqqas l-ispejjeż u toħroġ mudelli ta' vetturi elettriċi aktar affordabbli biex tilqa' l-kompetizzjoni Ċiniża. Waqt il-fiera tal-karozzi li saret f'Ġinevra fl-Iżvizzera, kemm Renault kif ukoll MG nedew mudelli ġodda.
So I'm here at the Geneva Auto Show, and it's much smaller this year than it's been in years past. But what we're seeing really is sort of an encapsulation of the trends that the European auto industry is facing. The main question this year, I think, is what will be the speed of the electric vehicle adoption? It was going really fast last year, but it started slow towards the end of the year. Incentives were reduced in a couple of countries like Germany, and even France is cutting back on EV incentives. At the same time, there's questions about the affordability of electric vehicles. So, in fact, behind me we have some of those answers. Renault, which is the stand right there, today introduced the Renault 5, which is an electric vehicle, a small EV for about €25,000.
So we're standing in front of the Renault R5 electric, and the inspirations is very clear. It's the original Renault 5 that was launched in 1972 and which was a pop icon. So with the new Renault 5, we're trying to capture the spirit of fun, of pleasure, fun to drive, 100% electric, a car that is really technologically advanced, makes a bridge with the past and shows you the future.
Renault, the Renault Avatar basically brings AI inside your mobility experience, and it will allows us to not only push AI innovation, but put enough innovation that are customized to you, to your needs according to the time. And it will learn from the context from the car, and the context also of your needs.
Ir-Renault mhux waħedha fl-Ewropa li qed ikollha twieġeb għall-kompetizzjoni Ċiniża. L-industrija Ċiniża illi s'issa ffukat fuq karozzi kbar ftit jew wisq tal-lussu, bil-mod il-pjan tagħha huwa li tidħol fis-suq Ewropew b'vetturi elettriċi iżgħar li jiswew mal-€25,000 il-waħda.
So what we've got is basically European auto industry is sort of facing off against the Chinese right now, and they're getting ready for what a lot of people expect will be maybe not an invasion, but maybe that's not the right word, but a strong push by Chinese brands who can use their cost advantages against European brands that have to build in high-wage countries like Germany and France.
Sadan it-tant l-aptit tal-konsumatur Ewropew li jixtri vettura elettrika qed jiġi mbuttat mill-miri tal-Unjoni Ewropea dwar it-tibdil fil-klima u anki għal dan l-industrija Ewropea tittara kif se twieġeb. Kemm se tkun lesta illi żżid il-produzzjoni u tnaqqas l-ispejjeż lejn vetturi elettriċi aktar affordabbli.
So the main question around affordability of electric vehicles is the European Union's 2035 deadline, where automakers will only be able to sell zero-emission cars, which essentially means no more gasoline, no more diesel, probably only electric vehicles. But the cost of the battery right now, EVs are unaffordable for a lot of European buyers, especially in Eastern and Southern European countries. And we see already that the rate of EV adoption in those countries is very low. So the question is, how do you make Europe carbon neutral when half of the European Union is not in a position to afford electric vehicles? And that's something that policymakers haven't really grappled with. They've said we're going to go zero emission, but how do you bring along the less wealthy parts of Europe? And that's going to be a question that they'll have to deal with.
Meta il-kumpanija li tmexxi Facebook, Instagram u mezzi soċjali oħra iddikjarat li mhux se tkun qed tinnegozja ftehim kummerċjali ġdid mal-pjattaformi tradizzjonali tal-aħbarijiet fl-Awstralja, fi Franza u l-Ġermanja. Kif għamlet fir-Renju Unit u f'pajjiżi Ewropej oħra s-sena li għaddiet, meta se tkun qed tneħħi tab minn fuq Facebook illi permezz tagħha tippromuovi l-aħbarijiet. Fl-2021 il-Gvern Awstraljan kien għadda liġi li permezz tagħha meta kienet obbligata tħallas lil pjattaformi tal-aħbarijiet b'ġurnalisti professjonali għal kontenut bl-aħbarijiet illi jkun ixxerjat fuq Facebook u l-bqija. Issa din id-deċiżjoni ta' meta tikser il-bażiku f'dik il-liġi u għaldaqstant ma niżlet xejn tajjeb mal-Gvern Awstraljan.
The announcement by Meta today is an abrogation of responsibility to Australia's news media sector. Australian journalists provide one of the most important public goods in our democracy, and Australian news media publishers deserve to be fairly compensated for the investments that they make in that.
Permezz tal-ftehim mill-ħuq fl-2021, Meta kienet ħallas madwar $45 miljun Amerikan fis-sena lill-industrija tal-aħbarijiet fl-Awstralja. Jekk tgħaddi ta' Meta, din se tkun daqqa ta' ħarta kbira għall-ġurnaliżmu Awstraljan.
Today's decision opens up more questions than answers. They've basically taken off their fig leaf of Facebook News, and we're back to where we were when that whole debate around what is the value of news content was running out 3 years ago. And the deal was that they would set up a transfer of value. They never conceded the value of the news, but they set up Facebook News almost as a fig leaf to say, we don't accept that there's an inherently more valuable quality of information and news content, but we'll give you money anyway because we're setting up this thing called Facebook News. Now they've taken down Facebook News, and now they're going to say, I told you no one uses it. No one ever thought it would be.
Matul frar il-manifattura fiż-żona euro komplet tiddajjef minħabba tnaqqis fid-domanda. Dan joħroġ minn indiċi li jkejjel is-sentiment fost il-managers tal-kumpaniji responsabbli mix-xiri ta' materjal u riżorsi. Fi frar l-indiċi kien jimmarka 46.5, tnaqqis ta' punt perċentwali fuq Jannar. Importanti li wieħed jinnota iżda li frar kien l-20 xahar konsekuttiv li fih l-indiċi kejjel inqas minn 50 u li għal daqstant ifisser li l-industrija tal-manifattura ilha daqstant tiċkien flok tikber. Fabbriki tal-manifattura fiż-żona euro naqsu l-ħaddiema għad-9 xahar konsekuttiv, hekk kif l-ordnijiet komplew jonqsu. Minkejja dan kollu l-kumpaniji qed jindikaw ċertu livell ta' ottimiżmu illi ilu ma jinħass, mhux għall-immedjat, iżda għas-sena li ġejja. Dan hekk kif l-indiċi li kejjel il-produzzjoni żamm sod f'livelli għolja. It-tama, kif jgħidu, hija l-aħħar li tmut. Li l-prezz tal-Bitcoin huwa volatili għall-aħħar kulħadd jaf. Daqqa jkun jiswa ftit eluf u daqqa jiġrilu kif għamel fl-aħħar jiem. Jisplodi. Issa il-prezz huwa ta' $69,000 Amerikan għal kull Bitcoin. Matul frar il-prezz tal-Bitcoin żdied b'40%, żieda sostanzjali illi swieq kienu ilhom ma jaraw bħala 3 snin u aktar sa minn Diċembru 2020. Dan kollu jfisser gwadan sostanzjali għal min xtara l-Bitcoin meta kien jiswa €6,000, iżda wkoll ċans ta' telf sostanzjali għal min investa fih ftit tal-ġimgħatilu waqt li l-prezz kien tila. Appuntu, f'dan il-każ il-futur mhux garanzija tal-preżent, iżda tal-passat, u jaf illi dan il-gwadan kollu isir suf fi spazju ta' ftit ġimgħat. Jintlibsu ftit iżda jiżdiedu fil-prezz għax ikunu missew mal-artisti u mal-ħwejjeġ il-kostumi li jintlibsu fuq is-sett ta' xi film importanti. Fl-aħħar jinbeda l-irkan ta' madwar 60 kostum, milbusa minn artisti bħal Colin Firth, Johnny Depp u Drew Barrymore. Dawn it-teżori huma parti mill-kollezzjoni tal-irkantatur Kerry Taylor. Kull kostum huwa xogħol id-disinjatur ta' fama John Bright.
I think there are two items that we get more emails and phone calls about than anything else. The first one is the dress worn by Drew Barrymore in the Ever After film, A Cinderella Story. And any little girl who was growing up in the 1990s, I think it was made in about 1998, who's now getting married, has been emailing me saying they want to buy this dress. So I put quite a conservative estimate on that piece, but everyone wants it. The other piece that's caused a lot of interest is the Colin Firth wet shirt. So in 1995, BBC made Pride and Prejudice series, and Colin Firth is seen going into the lake and swimming and coming out in this wet Irish linen shirt. And it caused a sensation at the time. But next to me here is one of our star pieces. This is a beautiful Christian Dior original gown. This was worn with the coat by Madonna in Evita. A copy of this Dior dress was made by Cosprop for Madonna to wear. But she refused to wear it. She said, I'm not wearing that. I'm wearing the original Dior. And thankfully she did, because in this particular lot, we have one of the best French couturiers who designed it. We have one of the greatest performers of the 21st century, Madonna. And we have a great film, Evita. So the estimate on this piece is, it's my highest estimate, is £40,000 to £60,000. My personal favourite is a beautiful late 18th century style costume worn by Keira Knightley in The Duchess. And it's designed by Michael O'Connor, and the detail is wonderful. The hat's magnificent. The other piece is the very severe early 19th century detective suit worn by Johnny Depp in Sleepy Hollow in the role of Ichabod Crane. And it's just so beautifully detailed, and that's in at £20,000 to £30,000.
Il-flus kollha se jmorru għall-karità.